fought a hard fight. You know, I fought a legend, man. So a guy like me, right? You know, the whole world was against me, right? And I was probably like 0 to 100, you know, like 1 to 100, and on the odds, right?
Edgar Berlanga's attempt to take on the iconic Canelo Alvarez was a high-stakes gamble that ultimately revealed the challenges of stepping up to elite competition. Following his bout, Berlanga's post-fight interview was marked by a blend of regret and resignation, with the fighter even offering an apology. The question now is whether this marks the end of Berlanga's career or merely a setback on his journey. On Saturday night, at a packed T-Mobile Arena, Berlanga faced the biggest challenge of his career against the undisputed super middleweight champion, Saul Canelo Alvarez. Despite his best efforts, the 27-year-old suffered his first professional loss, falling to 22-1 after a grueling contest. This fight was Berlanga's opportunity to prove himself against one of the sport's best, and while he stood toe-to-toe with Alvarez and matched the legendary fighter's punch output, Canelo's superior accuracy made the crucial difference. Berlanga connected with only 7% of his punches compared to Canelo's 3%. Nevertheless, Berlanga refused to back down, even as Canelo's power punches, including a sharp left hook that floored him in the third round, took their toll. The judges scored the fight decisively in Alvarez's favor, with scores of 118-109 and 117-110. Despite the odds, Berlanga displayed remarkable grit and determination, showing he was not intimidated by the occasion. In the later rounds, Berlanga faced significant challenges, including a knockdown in the 7th round from a missed overhand right and a warning for a headbutt in the 8th. Even though the night didn't end in his favor, Berlanga earned respect for his resilience and refusal to be overwhelmed. He even expressed his admiration for Canelo, telling him after the final bell that the Mexican champion had been his idol growing up. Stepping into the ring against Saul Canelo Alvarez on Mexican Independence Day was a monumental challenge for Berlanga, a moment that Canelo embraced with pride. Alvarez's passion for representing Mexico was evident, and at times, his frustration with Berlanga's tactics was apparent. Despite the outcome, Berlanga felt this was a valuable opportunity to test himself against the best in the sport. The fight showcased Berlanga's potential and determination, even as it highlighted areas for growth. Whether this setback is the end of the road or a stepping stone on his journey remains to be seen, but Berlanga's performance underscored his desire to compete at the highest level and earn his place among the elite. Canelo Alvarez's decision to face Edgar Berlanga instead of the IBF's top contender, William Skull, cost him the IBF title, but it did not diminish the significance of that electrifying night. Las Vegas was alive with excitement, not only from the boxing world but also with the UFC's debut at the Sphere, featuring 7 Mexican fighters making waves just a few miles away. The atmosphere was charged as Berlanga took on a boxing legend in Canelo, adding to the night's high stakes. In other notable bouts that evening, 41-year-old Erislandy Lara successfully defended his WBA middleweight title with a TKO victory over Danny Garcia, finishing him off with a precise straight left jab in the 9th round. Caleb Plant, who was fighting for the interim WBA super middleweight title against Trevor McCumb, had to dig deep after being knocked down in the 4th round. Plant showcased his resilience by dominating the later rounds and ultimately finishing McCumb with a flurry of punches that led to a stoppage at the very end of the 9th round. Rolando Romero also secured a win that night, outpointing Manel Hames with a unanimous decision. For Berlanga, witnessing these performances was a reminder of boxing's brutal and unpredictable nature. Despite falling short against Canelo, being in the ring with such elite fighters offered him invaluable experience for future challenges. Edgar Berlanga entered the ring with confidence, ready to face the biggest challenge of his career against Canelo Alvarez. From the opening bell, Berlanga attempted to establish his jab and control the fight, but it wasn't long before Canelo's relentless pursuit began to take its toll. In the 3rd round, Canelo landed a clean left hook that sent Berlanga crashing to the canvas. Frustrated, Berlanga pounded his gloves together and quickly rose, determined to prove his worth. Despite the knockdown, Berlanga showed grit by surviving Canelo's barrage and managed to slow the pace to his advantage. However, Canelo's control became evident as the fight progressed into the middle rounds. Berlanga had moments of success, such as countering effectively in the 6th round, but his prediction of a knockout didn't materialize. Canelo's relentless assault, including body hooks and head jabs, started to wear Berlanga down, In the later rounds, Berlanga struggled to keep up with Canelo's pace. The champion continued to press forward, landing stern uppercuts and mixing up his combinations, all while maintaining his unyielding pressure. By round 9, Canelo snapped Berlanga's head back with a powerful punch, demonstrating his dominance. Though Berlanga came up short on this significant night, he stood alongside some of the sport's best and gained crucial experience that will strengthen him for future battles. The experience of fighting Canelo Alvarez and witnessing the high level of competition from others on the card will undoubtedly shape Berlanga's path forward in his career. Although Edgar Berlanga retaliated with his own offense, it couldn't match the precision or power of Canelo Alvarez, the Mexican superstar. By round 10, the exchanges between the two had become heated. Canelo turned his back after Berlanga threw a leaping hook, leading to a heated exchange of words. Berlanga even taunted Canelo with a crotch chop, but the gesture did little to shift the fight's momentum as they moved into the championship rounds. The sold-out crowd at T-Mobile Arena was firmly behind Canelo, chanting his name as he landed powerful shots to both the head and body. Berlanga, visibly fatigued, continued to fight hard, landing a few solid punches in round 11. However, Canelo's experience and toughness saw him through the final round. Both fighters were aware of the outcome, and Berlanga, acknowledging the crowd's response, was met with boos, while Canelo, in contrast, was cheered as he acknowledged the fans. Despite Berlanga engaging more aggressively than many of Canelo's previous opponents, the fight ultimately reinforced Canelo's dominance in the ring. Berlanga's performance, while spirited, fell short of the high expectations set for him. From the early rounds, it was clear that Berlanga struggled to keep pace with Canelo's power and relentless pressure. As the final bell rang and the two touched gloves in a show of respect, it was evident that while Berlanga had given the fans an exciting fight, he had not quite lived up to the challenge of truly testing Canelo or making a significant impact on the super middleweight division. Edgar Berlanga often found himself on the defensive throughout the fight, and although he had his moments, such as some effective counters and bursts of energy, they weren't enough to trouble the legendary Mexican, Canelo Alvarez. This defeat marked a significant setback for Berlanga, as it was not just his first professional loss, but also the manner in which he was outclassed that has raised concerns about his future. After such a high-profile loss, Berlanga may face difficulties securing another major fight soon. Promoters might be hesitant to invest in him given the limitations he displayed on the biggest stage. Speculation is already swirling that Berlanga might even contemplate retirement rather than continue pursuing a comeback after such a humbling defeat. So, is this the end of the road for Berlanga, or could he use this experience to bounce back stronger? Will he decide to hang up his gloves, or will he persist in his quest to climb back to the top? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Should Berlanga continue fighting, or has his moment passed?